Do you have heavy, stubborn water spots on your glass and you want to know how to take care of it, remove them, that way you can protect them? And trust me, these stubborn water spots will look like this, and it will end up looking like this, completely fresh, clean glass and ready for any type of protection you want to throw on it. So let's get started with the video. Hello everyone, welcome back to another Gloss Garage podcast. I'm your host Sock, and today I have something special for you all. And pretty much, yes, this is my new vehicle. It is a Buick Envision Avenir, whatever that's called. But yeah, so this is the vehicle that I got for myself and for my family. So no more Civic aside. The Civic had to go. And yeah, that is pretty much it. That's where we're at. And yes, this vehicle, you could tell, it's been sitting in a lot, and you saw the walk around, and I still put it up again on the overhead, where you'll see a bunch of these little water spots all over the glass and a little bit all over the car, on the headlights and tail lights and stuff like that. There will be another dedicated video of me actually polishing the vehicle and doing the rest of the vehicle on my own personal channel, and I'll be installing DIY diamond gloss on my vehicle. And yeah, you can see little faint water spots here and there, and they are stubborn. They are pretty much stuck in there, and even when I take my glove and I start agitating with it, it barely wants to come out. So you could tell they're there, but they're not crazy etched in, but they're definitely etched in for sure. And let me bring you up closer so I can show you all how to do it. And what I'll be using today is a rotary, and I apologize for the mess that is all the other stuff that I'm still doing in my garage. And yeah, talking about my garage, those are my cabinets right there. And yeah, so let me bring you in closer so you all can see. Hopefully, yep, that is a perfect view here. You can see on the glass all those water spots that you see there. And I'm not here to remove the etching with a water spot remover. I don't really need to use a crazy acid or something too heavy just to remove this, because I am polishing the glass regardless, just because you can tell it's been sitting outside, has some light contamination. Feels a little rough. Nothing that a clay towel and decontamination wash can't handle. It's very light and minor. And what I'm going to be using today is the DIY detail water spot remover. The panel's already cool, it's already clean, and all I'm going to do is just spray this on my towel, saturate my towel, and I'm just going to rub it on the glass, as you see here. Just rub it in there, and it's going to break down those water spot minerals. That is what we want to break down. Probably add a couple sprays again, and make sure you get the corners. And that is pretty much it. Once you let that dwell for a couple seconds or so, you're ready to grab your damp and rinseless towel, which I have a bucket right in here. And I am just going to neutralize the cleaner, the water spot remover. Now, if you have a garden hose or something, you could just spray on rinseless and then just rinse it off right away. It's just fine. I'm not worried about this drying on the paint or anything. It's not going to cause any water spots because I am polishing this in a little bit. And I'm going to do the same for the other two windows, so that way you all can see the entire process. It's going to run over on this side. Let me spray this one as well. I have to take this in. Grab some rinseless and ready to go. Now you're probably wondering why I actually taped off the rubber seals or the rubber parts of the car. The reason for that is because I am going to be using a rotary, and I am really going to get into the corners make sure I really clean in there. And sometimes the corners or the edges of the rotary, this is the PXC 80. I don't know if the House of Rag sells this, but I got this a long time ago when it first came out. The rotary, it gets really hot in the corners in itself, and if I'm digging this in the corner and I'm using this in speed setting 2 or 3 on this PXE 80, it may burn a little bit of that plastic, not because of the polish that I'm using, just of the heat of the rotary that's happening. Because on glass, you can be a little bit more aggressive for sure. But never mind, we're just gonna keep it rolling. And yes, hopefully you can see those water spots. And what I'm doing here is I'm going to dab out the product. And I'm going to use speed setting 1. Then speed setting 2. And pretty much no pressure. I am tilting the rotary, and this is the DIY detail rotary. The reason why I'm using a rotary is because it spins on one axis. It's just spinning. So I'm not worried about the throw hitting the corners or anything. I can get close to the edge and just let the compound and polisher do the work. And this is fairly quick. Like I said, it's etched thin, but not too crazy. So that's it for that part. And I'm gonna grab a little bit more endgame compound, just a little bit, just to have this pad primed up. And I am going to do the edges. So this is the 1-inch rotary. And I'm just going quick right up here on the edges. Just gonna go fairly quick, just to grab anything else I may have missed. And I'm not putting any pressure. I'm letting the pad and polish do the work. Here I missed a whole section right down here. So I am going to go over this twice. From the camera. Now what tape I'm using, I am using the Mirka masking tape. I got this at the Clean Garage. And that is it right there. So that is it. Did the edges as such. And we are ready just to remove the polish residue. And what I'm using here is Pelias Panel Prep, one of my favorite panel preps. Just spray a little bit right there directly on the glass. And going to remove the polish residue. It is super slick at first. And then after that, it just gets really, really, really grabby. Meaning that all the surfactants and everything has evaporated from whatever surface it was on. And that is it. Let me just remove this masking tape. And on these edges down here, all I have to do is roll down the window. And to be quite honest, there is no water spots in there. It is just slightly dirty. All I have to do is just get a glass cleaner or rinse wash and just clean the top part of the glass. But in terms of all the edges and everything being tackled and water spot removed, you all can be the judge here. And look at that. Nice, clean glass. And you all saw how it was beforehand. This is on this side of the vehicle that's not done yet. Look at that. All those water spots. And that is pretty much it for this video. Now I will show you Once I'm done polishing all the glass, I will show you how to apply whatever protectant that you want on your glass. And I'll be using a specific coating just because I already have that bottle open. And I will show you how to protect your glass. All right, everyone. So now the glass is clean. As you can see, no more water spots on the glass whatsoever. And now it is time to apply your protection. You could use a ceramic sealant, say pan ceramic sealant, ceramic gloss, Phoenix COD Titan on your side windows. It will last a very long time. Or you can apply a ceramic coating. I already had this bottle open and I already did the areas off screen, like the top areas here, just to not waste any time. I'm just gonna coat the whole window afterwards. And yeah, so if you're going to use a sealant, trust me, the sealant on the side windows will last a very long time. But this is just the coating that I have at hand. This is Labo's HPC 2.0. This coating lasts about 2 to 3 years. It's a super hydrophobic and slick coating, and you can also get this at the House of Rags. And I'm just going to show you how to apply this. You know, just apply it on thick, especially if it's your first pad. This is my second pad. I'm just showing on how to prime your applicator, and we are ready just to apply on the glass. You're just gonna box this in. Make sure you try to get the corners as good as possible. There we go. And that's it. You could go in circles, don't really matter. Just make sure you get even coverage. It just feels so good not to have any more water spots on any of the glass. And yeah, you're just gonna apply it as such. You're gonna let it sit there for about a good 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minutes. This coating does take a little while to set up, and I love its long work time. And it starts beating up and sweating. And this is their upgraded coating from their version 1, where it used to need, how do I say it? Yeah, it needed to be set for a minimum of 5 minutes before you could level it off. But now here it's just, once it starts beating and sweating and separates a lot quicker. And of course, it's easier to apply in direct sunlight as well. This coating is such a breeze to apply. I love their HPC Pro. That is my main go-to. But that is a certified installer coating only, and it just gives fantastic results. So here I just coated all 3 windows, and it's already been 2 minutes since we pretty much did this. I'm gonna let it sit for another minute or so. I'm gonna grab another towel. I like to use some throwaway towels for glass. You could use Kirkland's, that's what I'm gonna use here. And that is just because you don't need anything fancy. You do not need anything fancy because it's glass and you're not going to scratch glass. So we're already at the 3-minute mark, and what I'm going to do now is start leveling this off. And the only downside about this coating is you do need a minimum of 8 hours for this to cure. And if you want the best bond and durability, they do recommend you not have the vehicle wet or the coating exposed to any elements for the first 24 hours. But in terms of easy wipe off, it is such a breeze, super slick. Make sure you get the corners, because sometimes if you don't get these corners here, you will leave a high spot, and it is not a fun area to try to remove a high spot. Same thing on this other window. I'm gonna bring you all over right here and just level off. And once I'm done leveling off that back window, we'll move on to the outro. And hopefully you all enjoyed this video on just polishing your glass, adding a protectant on your glass, and so forth. It is very easy process, just a little time consuming, especially if you have hard water spots. And that's it. But all right, everyone, hopefully you all enjoyed this podcast. So now you have removed the water spots off your glass and protected it. And that is pretty much it. I know it's a little bit long process. Just don't be scared. I love using the rotary mainly for glass and windows, especially for those little tiny intricate areas and corners. Just make sure you absolutely tape off the edges, and especially on the rubber seals, because if you don't and you grab it with the rotary, that edge part, it will burn some of this. It's not because of the compound or the polish, it's the rotary itself, where you really want to get into these areas. Or if not, you could hand polish and just use your fingers. Whichever floats your boat will work either way. I just like to work a little bit quicker, and in my case, it was just quicker just to tape off the edges, which took me 5 minutes to tape off everything. And that is pretty much it. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. All the products you can get at the House of Rags, just use code DMS at checkout for 10% off. Helps me out a little bit. And yeah, that is about it. I'll see you all on the next one. Peace.